Hello, hello, hello. Oh, man. Okay, I'm in a silly mood. Pay me no attention. Let me see here. Get that going. That going. Okay, let me bring my slides up and we're good to go. Okay. And all right, slides on the way. What else do I need here? Let me see who was first. Okay. Cherry Traveler, thank you so much for being here first. There are no prizes, but I am very, very appreciative. Thank you so much. Okay. And all right. Hey, Lydia Washington, Sonia Johnson, Patty Askew, Juliet Holder Fowler. And let me see who else do we have here. Mamie Ricks, Rose Green, Lucky Highland. No, I'm sorry, Lucy Highland. Lucky Highland. Judy Matasset. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Oh, slides are here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. There we go. All right. Now, so Prince Harry's award has upset the British tabloid media. Prince Harry countdown to the ESPYS. Maybe I should have put a better space between that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Why are they so triggered? Why are they so triggered? I have my theories, but let's get on with it, shall we? I'm telling you, that cult that surrounds that institution is just, it's scary, isn't it? It is a frightening thing. And it is a cult. It is a cult. It's not just royalists, but there's like a cult atmosphere that surrounds that institution. And if they ever deny it, that's when you know they're lying. If they try to say that it's not a cult, if they deny it's a cult, then you know they're lying. If they say nothing, I'm sure some people will give them the benefit of the doubt. But if that triggers them that someone has accused them, then you know it's true. Then you know it's true. Okay. So right here, this is the latest Harry under fire. I promise you, there is nothing new. And I did read the article. There's nothing new in there. There's nothing new. This is clickbait to carry us over till the award ceremony, right? Till the award night. That's all it is. There's nothing new. Nothing has been added, nothing has been taken away. It could have very well have been the first article, which was written by Carolyn Graham. Always Carolyn Graham. The only thing that's different is the fact that they include Harry in military fatigues. That's what's different. Before, they had Harry in civilian clothing, driving the point that he doesn't deserve the award, right? And so that's the thing that different is that he's in his fatigues, right? And he's actually either entering or exiting the cockpit of his Apache helicopter, one of the fiercest flying machines ever created. There's only a handful of people in the world that could fly that thing. Harry happens to be one of them. And I believe he rated second in his class, right? So the fact that he's able to do this sets him head and shoulders above so many other people. But none of that matters because Mary Tillman said nobody asked her, right? So I'm not going to go into that whole thing about what Mama said. So Harry's in the United States now. Harry is also a military veteran. Harry is active with the military community, the veterans community, and which does not just include the veterans themselves, but their families. And this is the one thing that is so incredibly powerful about Harry's position, that he is loved and admired by the military community. And they want to chip away at that. They're doing their best. Obviously, the people who write these articles do not have a firm understanding of the American people's relationship with the community, as well as the community themselves, the brother and sisterhood that makes up the military community in the United States. It's not that we're all warmongers or anything like that, but there has been a firm commitment from a lot of people that matter, and a lot of people that just casually, thank you for your service type of people. The point is, that is a very powerful lobby, if you will. I'll just say that they're a very powerful interest. Okay, that's better. Interests. They're very powerful interests. And for that reason, they are so threatened because William just doesn't have that. And that's what it's about. It's about Willie. It's what Willie lacks. There's so many things that Harry is good at that William is just impossible at it. Whether it's physical activity, whether it's connecting with people, William is just not good at it. And William will be king, and he can't afford to be seen as second best. I think if he just goes away quietly, people won't think about him. As it is, everybody thinks that he's the king now because he looks so old. That's about it. Well, not everybody, but some Americans. Here's Harry, I guess in a strategy meeting or whatever the case may be. But he looks every bit the soldier. And even Harry said, you don't need your uniform. Having your uniform on, that's only part of it. You're always a soldier. So it doesn't matter if they take his uniform away, they can take all of those titles away. He is still a soldier. He is still a highly decorated, highly respected veteran. And I'm not just talking about decorated by the people in the British military, but here in the United States, he has received the award and the applause, the acknowledgement over and over again. Ever since he came here for that tour where he met Colin Powell. Well, actually, I don't know if he had just met him because he may have met him before, but he was presented with an award. They knew, what was it, 2013? They just knew that he had already done a lot of things and that he has a bright future. Call it intuition, instinct, whatever the case may be. It was already written in the stars. And that is a threat to the establishment. The rival court. I think that's what they call it, the rival court, a court rivalry, a rival court, where there's another royal someplace else. and that people are respecting that person for whatever reason. And if the attention is not going directed toward the crown or he or she who wears the crown, then they're threatened by that. Lady Rose, 2 months membership. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for being here. And I remember when you got your membership, it hasn't only been 2 months. It seemed like it was longer. Well, wow, that's amazing. 2 months went by fast. Well, actually, it seemed like it was more recent. And let's see who else here. Tinkerbell. Thank you so much for becoming a new member. Wow, thank you so much for that. And remember, Royal Sussex memberships are still a bargain at just $4.99 a month. So thank you very much, everyone who has a Royal Sussex membership. Okay, so move on. Of course, Harry maintains a love for home, and he's from the UK, and he loves his culture. He hopes to share it with his family. But they just don't want him over there. They don't want him to do anything here. They don't want him to have success here. But they really don't want him over there. The only way that he would be accepted there is for him to go back alone, give up all of the things that he has acquired since he left. And of course, don't bring your family, just Harry. That's what they really want. And I hear them repeat it on television again and again, hoping that they can somehow plant that subliminal. Well, it's not subliminal, it's right in your face, isn't it? But they're trying to plant that message that we will love you over here again. Yes, your abusers will love you again if you just walk away from the US. Lock, stock, and barrel. Just you. We only want you. That's the deal. And then we will go back to abusing you, mistreating you, putting your name on documents that you've never seen, all of the stuff that has caused you heartache, all of the reasons why you hated this place. Well, hated the, well, I get, he doesn't hate the institution. Okay, wait, I take it back. He doesn't hate the idea, certain elements of the institution. Let me get that right. So, it wasn't meant to be easy, but who knew that it would be this difficult? Hey, Connie Balmer, thank you so much for being here. Now, let me get to the meat of it. This is what they're terrified of. That's Prince freaking Harry. I thought about it earlier. I said the last time that they have acted out like this was after the fact. Harry on national television, Harry with a national platform. Wow. I think my Wi-Fi just did something. Sorry about that. I think my Wi-Fi just did something. But we're still connected, so that's not a problem. Yeah, you know what? And my Wi-Fi on my phone is also not connected. So No worries. Um, it's been raining, and it may have just been a disruption of service because of that. Sorry about that, you guys, but fortunately, we did not get disconnected. And Joan Garcia, thank you so much for the super chat, Baron. It makes me sense now. The Royals read reminds. Oh, why don't I do this? Sorry about that. I'm trying to read it while it's moving. The royal reed reminds us King George of Great Britain told America they'd never make it and would return. Rinse and repeat with Harry and Meghan. I'll give you another bell for that. Absolutely. You'll never make it. Famous last words, right? All right, let me get my slides back up. That was weird. Usually my Wi-Fi is pretty stable, but you know what? Let's not dwell on the one time that things went bonkers, and let's just think about and appreciate how often everything has gone absolutely right. So, no problem. We're back. So, you know what I did? I opened up my phone. I was going to try to turn the hotspot on. I'm like, ooh, hotspot, hotspot. But then the you know the Wi-Fi came back up. So, all right. Well, yeah. So that is what I was thinking today. Is that they must really be bothered or triggered by the idea of Harry on national television again, because they are super, super triggered. Thank you, Mamie Ricks. They are so bothered. Harry was, I mean, listen, he looks absolutely magnificent. A finely tailored suit, that engaging smile and personality, and of course, a little self deprecating humor. He's so good. He's so good. And people responded to that. I mean, the night that it happened, the same people that are working so hard to condemn him now, they were so glad that they had the engagement from all of the photos, the backstory. They were so happy about that. I mean, look at this. And Cameron, what is his name? Whatever his name is, I forgot his name, but he said it was surreal. He described it as a shock. First of all, that he's getting the award. When he heard his name called, that was confusing enough. And then secondly, when Prince Harry presented the award, the only difference is they did not have the countdown. That's what the difference is. This was a total surprise. They didn't have the opportunity to attack him. But now, given the opportunity, it's attack, attack, attack. And still, no mention of Pat Tillman's widow. Very little mention of the fact that ESPN and, of course, the foundation, Pat Tillman Foundation, still supports this. But other than that, there's nothing new in that article. Prince freaking Harry. It's Prince freaking Harry. It was a magic night. And they don't want Harry to have a place like this, not just occasionally, but ever. That Harry might actually be a fixture on television is frightening to them. Not that they're worried about the embarrassment of a royal earning money and on television, but that people like him. And no, he didn't come out and say, oh, my father this or Kate's that, or No mention of Willie. This is his moment. So that is my theory, is that they just don't want Harry. I mean, look at how emotional he is. Not because of Harry, but the entire thing. I'm getting an award, and one of the most recognizable people on the planet is the one presenting the award. And don't think that that did not shake them up. It's a national platform. And I also believe that the speech, as we go through this countdown, the speech is going to be epic. Harry is going to give the most epic speech of his life. I promise you. Look forward to that. As a matter of fact, if you're watching Montecito, where there are no, wait for it, leaks, where there are no leaks, if you're watching tonight, you have to have a unforgettable speech, and I believe it will be. Right now, Harry is working on his speech, so look forward to that. In the meantime, as I said, it's not all bad, because people are going to learn about Harry for the first time. Not this very obscure image of Harry from the occasional headline here and there, but the real Prince Harry. They're going to learn about him. And I do believe that the ESPY Award, at least I hope this is the case, that they're going to go through or take some extra steps to make sure that people understand this is why he was chosen. It's not as though this is just a courtesy. Harry has done the work. I can't think of, well, out of all the people that has been mentioned, Harry is uniquely qualified. He ticks so many of those boxes necessary to be honored like this. Now, I want you to take a look at this. This thumbnail is it's been repurposed. If you notice, the only thing I changed was King Charles and Queen final moments. King Charles and Queen final moment. That's the only thing I changed. Because we've been here before. That's what's so silly. We've been here before. I mean, check it out. All I did was just change that one part. That lets you know how old this is, because I've already used it when I spoke about Charles and his mama's last moments. So obviously I've had this for quite some time. But I do believe this one was for the run up to the Legends of Aviation. So they're trying to shout us down from across the ocean. You have more impact if you were here trying to shout us down, but your little minions writing in these tabloids, that ain't loud enough. They're trying to build up a momentum where they get all of the news media in America talking about it. And so far, that has not happened. Now, probably morning television, they'll say something there. But that's about the extent of it. But hopefully, they will be very balanced and remind people that the mama has nothing to do with the choices of the foundation of ESPN, and that she has never had a voice in the Tillman Award, ever. It's none of her business. She didn't, if she wants to have a say, then she can always use her platform, which thanks to Harry is so much bigger now. She could use her platform to start her own award for her son. And there's a big voice inside of me that says, but give her grace. She sacrificed her son. Her country lied to her. Yes, all of that happened. But now she's using her platform against someone she obviously doesn't know. And you have a right to your feelings, but you don't have a right to the truth. And the truth is, she's wrong. She's absolutely wrong. It's misleading to say that they didn't consult me. They never consult you. But that's not in the article. Now, to be fair, she doesn't have the ability to write the headlines. And of course, if they take license with her, with her words, if they twist her words, not a lot she can do about that. That is solely the Daily Mail's thing. But she hasn't come back to change a word of it, which, from what I've heard from some people, I haven't seen it myself, that she has doubled down on it. Print circulation for January has a threat. The fail is under 800,000 for the first time in more than 100 years, down from 812K to 797,000K. The year on year is down 12%, which is an increase from the 5 to 8% we have had since 2018. Daily Mail Group, owned Metro, and it is struggling. Well, Metro is a free paper, I believe, and is struggling too. Which is why there's a vulture there, by the way. A stack of Daily Mails, a vulture, you get it. And so this is like the last gasp of a dying breed of people, the print reporters. Now, of course, they have an incredible online presence, but that is also very diluted by people like me, by people like you. There's a lot of people that are getting their news from a lot of places, and it's not the old legacy media. Carolyn Graham, secret of Meghan's letter revealed. Carolyn Graham, Harry cannot stoop lower. I would advise him to stay away from German royals' fury as Harry takes a selfie at tacky LA Aviation Award with self-styled prince who is accused of using spiritualist connections to flog wealth elixir and become a reality TV star. Well, this guy's parents spoke out on his behalf, and so has his lawyers, who's had a word or two with Carolyn Graham. But that's the connection. Carolyn Graham. And what else? Oh, Carolyn Graham. Backlash grows after Prince Harry wins award set up to honor war hero. This is where it started. June the 29th, Carolyn Graham. So just a couple of days after they announced the ESPY, she went to work. Well, the day they announced it, she went to work. Think I'll get a hold of Pat Tillman's mama and see what she has to say about it. Now, did she feed lines to her? Like, did they ask you? Did anybody contact you about the award? No, they didn't. Does it bother you that someone who is so controversial is receiving the award? Yeah, it bothers me. That's all it took. Carolyn Graham, the daughter of Dixie, a real Southern belle or gong. Okay, a real Southern gong. She who climbed Mount St. Thomas Marco and came down with a letter. William is jealous. It does not serve him well that his brother is a huge success. And they keep saying that the American people do not like Harry and Meghan. They keep saying it and hoping that it becomes true. It's a whispering campaign. It is not rooted in reality. Those MAGA Brexit people, those are not real people to me. That is not the blood and soul of a country. Those are just some very hateful, angry people that have a strong fear of others, whoever those others may be. But because of what happened in France tonight, I am reassured by that. So stay mad, stay mad. Now, about France. Oh, we might get out of here in an hour. I'm going to step on it. I'm pretty sure we will. Apparently, Marine Le Pen and her tribe, they have been roundly defeated. Well, anyway, they thought they were going to at least have a strong second place, but no, they were in third place. They were hoping, if I'm correct, it works like this. They win enough seats in the Assemblée Nationale, and, they can, I guess she was supposed to be the president of France. Is that how it works? Well, anyway, she has been roundly defeated, and good riddance. So now we can concentrate on something more important, like the Olympics. Right there, America, Marie Le Pen and her fascist party finished third in the French legislative election, despite being projected second finish, first in all the polls. The French people did not want to be governed by a fear-mongering, bigoted racist. I am so proud of my country of birth. What is that? Ma France? Yeah, Ma France. And then over here, these are comments from people, not from anyway. French politician Jean-Luc Mélenchon, who is sweeping to a shock victory in the French election, has called for the recognition of the state of Palestine. France must recognize the Palestinian state now. The balance of power must show that the whole world condemns this. So, looks like a win-win tonight. Win-win. Now, I made a video earlier. Juan de Preja was Velasquez's slave. Then he became a star. Well, I made a video earlier, and it was about, well, I have that portrait. I do. A small one, but I have that one. And when I bought it from a thrift store, I don't know what it was about it that I was like, I'll have this. Well, I didn't realize that this was a biracial, talented artist of the Baroque movement. He lived in Spain, right? And Velasquez, I believe it was Diego Velasquez, well, he used him as an apprentice. And it wasn't unusual that in the art houses and such in Spain, and I'm sure other parts of Europe, you had people that purchased slaves, acquired slaves, and they used them to create art. And so part of the purpose for having him there, and by the way, it wasn't just the two of them. There were other apprentices. I don't know if they were all slaves, but there were other apprentices. But de Preja was responsible for a lot of the work that needed to be done, like mixing the pigments. I'm sure stretching the canvas and all that kind of stuff. Now, if there was anything more to the nature of their relationship, I'm not sure. But anyway, it's a very interesting video. So if you get a chance, make sure you check it out. It's from an article that was written last year when they had an exhibit at the Metropolitan Museum in New York. Now, if I'm correct, I believe this portrait is still at the Metropolitan Museum in New York. But very interesting guy, the way he navigated life as a slave and then a free man at some point in Spain. So check it out. So anyway, again, the countdown. Yes, Vive la France! Vive la France! The countdown continues, and people on Twitter were trying to figure out if Meghan is going to go, what is she going to wear, and so on and so forth. That remains to be seen, but we definitely will be there for it. Okay. Uh-oh. Now this time I almost kicked myself out of the studio. Better not do that. Charisma. Intermediate English. Well, okay, so common English, right? The ability to attract the attention and admiration of others and to be seen as a leader. To be a great leader, a person has to have some charisma. I'll say amen. Now, the Sussex squad is celebrating Prince Harry's ESPY Award. So July 8th through the 11th, please join us in celebrating Prince Harry being awarded this distinguished Pat Tillman Award for service. Each day we'll have a different theme. To participate, post a picture related to the theme along with hashtags of the day. So Monday, hashtag Prince Harry the Soldier. Tuesday, hashtag Prince Harry the Servant. Wednesday, hashtag Prince Harry Invictus Founder. And on the 11th, which is Thursday, hashtag Prince Harry the Man. So just some ideas of what you can do. So if you have other social media, in particular Twitter, just find some photos and do those hashtags, and that'll be a way to participate. Hey, Church Nelly. Lewis sobbing in his dad's arms. They've been through it all. Yes, they have. Congratulations to the greatest of all time, Lewis Hamilton. And check this out. I love this photo. There's Lewis walking, and there's the shadow of the goat representing the greatest of all time. Gotta love that. Not all of us. I watched the penalties with a full head of hair. How about this one? All of us did not get free tickets. So they were rambling on about how William was so excited and such, and how he was like feeling the frustration and the agony for everyone. Well, some people on the Twitter were like, not me. I watched the penalties with a full head of hair. So I thought that was fun. And so there you have it. There you have it. Harry, cool as a cucumber, loved by all, and Willie with his over animated reaction to whatever game he's watching. You know, like any sociopath, this is all contrived. It's not how he feels. He's acting in the way he thinks people expect him to feel. That's what a sociopath does. Now, alleged sociopath. Okay, that's better. And then, of course, given his body language, you could throw him into any brawl and he fits right in. And by the way, thank you for the squatty who made this. You could throw him into any brawl. He fit right in. Prince William is the real life Mr. Burns. Well, as you can see there, compare the side-by-side image, and yeah, he is Mr. Burns. And of course, Scream, that famous Impressionist painting, Scream. He could easily have been the model used to create that painting. Like a hand to a glove, isn't it? Llewellyn, the Last Welsh Prince by John Evans. I saw that cover and it reminded me that there are a lot of people, there's a movement in Wales to rid themselves of that offensive title, Prince of Wales. Llewellyn was, am I saying it right? Llewellyn, okay, was the last Welsh prince. The Prince of Wales is a title that was given to the Crown Prince of England, as though they wanted to imply that there was some inherent or real authority over the people of Wales, not just to make them feel included as part of the Union, but also as a way to put them in their place. But Michael Sheen, the actor who played Tony Blair, he has been very vocal about the fact that the people of Wales would like their autonomy back. They want complete independence. They want to be free of England. And you might think, wow, this has been like this for so long. Why even bother? Well, I tell you, I hope people will use this logic when they're thinking about things like reparations for slavery. It's been a while, but we'd like our 40 acres and a mule. Also, you can cut me a check too. And also, as a reminder, this time of year, I like to list those who turned down or returned honors. Well, honestly, I've had this for some time, but David Bowie, Albert Finney, Alan Rickman, Ken Loach, Michael Sheen, Paul Weller, Danny Boyle, John Lennon, L.S. Laurie, John Cleese, C.S. Lewis, Stephen Hawkins, Jim Broadbent, and Francis Bacon. Is that Sir Francis Bacon? Anyway, not everybody is excited to have those honors. And there's a couple of, I can picture one person right now, and he's not even mentioned here. So just can't remember his name. But I would say it's an honor to turn down those honors. And as Petal has said so many times, once you accept that honor, they own you. You are expected to defend them come hell or high water. And it's true. The people who have those honors, they go above and beyond to protect that family, that institution. You've been invited to join the Sussex community event as we continue to celebrate the Sussex Family Birthday Fundraiser Campaign for Invictus 2025. Please join for a live discussion featuring the inspiring story of courage, determination, and resilience of the Invictus spirit. Special guest, Canadian military veteran and retired infantry captain Mike Burgess, who represented Team Canada at the Hague, Netherlands, will be sharing his experience. The event will be hosted by Sussex Event and co-hosted by Grandma Blunt on X Spaces Friday. So, you know, if you are on Space X, formerly known as Twitter, then you already know how to find it. If you're not on Twitter, for your mental health, you probably are not on Twitter. Don't bother. Okay? Don't bother. It's a very vicious landscape, and it's not for everyone. And so if you haven't been on there for those reasons, there's no reason to start. I'll share with you when I watch it. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Okay. I think I did all that, right? Yeah. All right. So do most children of immigrants? But I guess it's less impressive when they're poor. Well, this is a response, or should I say, a clapback. Princess Charlotte already speaks 2 languages. So does most children of immigrants. And then I got curious. How many children in America speak a second language? Well, of course, there's the statistic right there. 12.8 million children in America have a second language. Or should I say in the United States? And as for the United Kingdom, 1.5 million, which is impressive given the United States has a much larger population. And of course, there's only 2 dominant languages on the in North America, and that's Spanish and English. But of course, in the United Kingdom, there's you know proximity to continental Europe and such. So 1.5 million, that's impressive. Wait a minute, does that? So if I do a little easy math in my head, 330 million Americans. Who has the greatest rate? Well, it doesn't matter. I'll let you all figure that out. Tell me when you figure it out. Like per 100,000, who has the higher? But not that it's so important. I'm impressed that anybody speaks a second language. And I guess this is the road to mediocrity where they, and of course, not picking on Charlotte, but this is what the tabloid media does. They take the littlest thing that anybody in that family does and they amplify it as though they have just invented the wheel, as though they have just walked on water. It's admirable that anybody speaks a second language, rich or poor, British or from the US, but don't make it sound like it's something more than what it is. This is like a gratuitous update. Much to do about nothing. Lizzie, 34. My daughter was Air Force since 2021 and volunteered to go to Afghanistan in 2006. And she was there when Prince Harry was there, only child and now retired after 20 years of service. All right. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And thank you for the super sticker. And you must be incredibly, incredibly proud. That is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And remember, if one person in the family serves, everybody in the family serves. No, thank you, Mamie. Hi, Daphne Lamini. Thank you so much for being here. Now, I just wanted to refresh everybody's memory, refresh your tea. Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, 41, can speak 2 languages other than English and has showcased them on royal visits before, according to her old CV. She is fluent in Spanish and has some French proficiency. So I was just like, there are members of that clan. Oops, there I go calling it a clan again. There are members of that foul institution that also speak other languages, like the Queen Elizabeth II, that is, German, French. Trying to think, was there something else? And then, of course, even Philip was proficient in other languages. Charles, German, French. The Gaelic that he learned from Wells. What else? But yeah, and now you all be nice. I'm sure they had nothing to do with this. Oleg says would be impressive if William spoke Welsh. Absolutely. The man who spent his entire life realizing that someday he would be king, and that his father, who is fluent in Welsh, was respected by quite a few people, whether it was in Wales or otherwise, at his dedication to learn the language. However, check it out. Thank you, Legs. Prince William hopes to pass on serious, impressive skill to son Prince George that Kate Middleton says she is so bad at. Now, I could hardly believe my eyes. Prince William has set a daunting example for his son when it comes to learning languages. The Prince of Wales can reportedly speak 7 different languages fluently: English, French, German, Welsh, Gaelic, Spanish, and also Swahili. A language OK Magazine reports that he taught himself while at university. I don't think you heard me. Let me try this again. Prince William has set a daunting example for his son when it comes to learning languages. The Prince of Wales can reportedly speak 7 different languages fluently. English, French, German, Welsh, Gaelic, Spanish, and also Swahili, a language OK Magazine reports he taught himself while at university. I'm sorry, I was observing a moment of silence for the loss of brain activity the writer of this article obviously has suffered. Um, Whoever wrote this article may have suffered a catastrophic injury to their cranium, because not only is this untrue, it's laughable. Now, I saw that. You see that where it says OK Magazine? Do you see that? So, where it's highlighted in blue, I clicked on that, and this is what came up: page unavailable. Prince William's seriously impressive hidden talent that Prince George will have to follow. Realizing that they made a dreadful, horrendous mistake, they took it down. I repeat, they took it down. William, I will give it to him, he is proficient in English. I could not find any examples of Prince William speaking a second language. This is not as bad as Melania Trump. Remember how they said Melania Trump could speak 4 languages, and then the closer it got to election day, it was 5 languages. When Melania Trump went to France, she had an interpreter. She had someone to translate for her. The only thing she could say in French is, "Hi, my name is Melanie." That was it. She supposedly can speak Italian, and she can speak French, and She's barely proficient in English, but she gets by. And of course, she can speak Russian. I'm sure of that. I'm certain she knows her Russian. And of course, she can speak her native Slovenian language, Slovenia. And that's it. But all these other lofty ideas of the languages that she can speak is untrue. I saw an investigative report by someone who is, a language person, and they said they can find no evidence of all these languages that she can speak. That was a lie. Just like she graduated from university with a degree in architecture. Also a lie. Such a big lie. You know what happened to it? They removed it from her biography. And to make sure that it was removed, they took the entire flipping biography down. I could not find another example of an article stating that William can speak 7, I repeat, 7 different languages fluently. And the idea that Willie taught himself Swahili. YM Joyce says this should have been the first sign that KP was on par with North Korea. No wonder he needs a buddy up to Camilla Jong-un to keep this trash in print. Thank you, YM Droid, Camilla Jong-un. I love it. Okay. Now, Becky the Blob. Becky the Blob. I want to share with you once again what Becky the Blob said about awards. Just want to share that one more time. Because Becky the Blob is of the opinion that the royals do not accept awards and that Harry shouldn't either.
Others might say that the royal family give them that. So now, yeah, as you say, he's courting them over there. So there's definitely some hypocrisy there. Well, I wouldn't be doing my job, Rebecca, if we didn't play devil's advocate for a second. Now, Sussex fans and others might say that the royal family give themselves medals and titles every now and again. What's the difference?
I think it's a fair question. It's a tricky one to answer, but I think what I would say is that when it comes to uniform and medals, our sovereign is head of the armed forces. Therefore, there comes a uniform and a role with that job. The sovereign asks other members, working members of the royal family, to perpetuate that link with the military, with various regiments. And of course, that comes with, wearing particular medals and uniforms that signify you as being their colonel or, one of their, colonel-in-chief. So I think it's slightly different. And I just think it goes back to this point, which I think maybe it's Charlotte picked up on, is that you very rarely see a member of the royal family getting an award for something they have done. I mean, there's been jokey ones over the year. Maybe the King, as Prince of Wales, might have accepted one environmental award, but you don't, because they consider public service to be an award in itself. And obviously Harry and Meghan are now, I think maybe as you said, or you, Joe, part of that kind of showbiz celebrity lifestyle, where part of their lifeblood is collecting another award. And I think it just shows you how different their lives are to what they would have had in the UK.
But Richard, do you think that were Harry still a working royal, he arguably might have ended up actually with quite a few more titles and gongs?
Oh, definitely. If Harry and Meghan were still working royals, probably this week Harry would have become a member of the Order of Thistle, as well as his uncle Prince Edward and his stepmother Queen Camilla. It's that sort of thing he could expect, and also generally his military titles will be upgraded in accordance with his age as the sort of convention. So he would have lots of new titles and honours, but that's the point. It comes with the territory of being a member of the royal family, and it's difficult. It's an awkward situation if they're trying to.
of that. So now.
Hey, girl, sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
So that's all I can say is sit down. I just want to remind you all that these people, they rehearse, they have these answers ready. They know what the questions are going to be. This is all scripted television or podcasting, whatever you want to call it. This is scripted. They know in advance what the questions are, and they need only respond when asked, be questioned, that there are no surprises here. And this is all part of a chorus of people that week after week go on the social media, on television, wherever they can stomach them. And people like Becky the Blob by the way, if you're on Twitter, do a hashtag Becky the Blob, and you'll find that the person who has given her that nickname, she's been doing it for a little while. I did not realize. I just love the way she said it like that's her name. But yeah, they're not caught off guard. This is all scripted, and it's part of the infrastructure that was created to insulate that institution from real scrutiny or judgment. Very effective. I have to give them credit. It's very effective. They have, if I'm correct, they said that Charles was the one who helped establish this royal rota because they didn't want outside scrutiny. They wanted a select handful of people that would liaison with the various newspapers and such. And Becky the Blob is the one who actually is the gatekeeper. She is the one that chooses from the pack who goes, when, where, and how. And they're the ones that select few, which include Robert, Where's My CPAP Jobson, and of course, Richard Eden, all of those people, they have their missions laid out for them. And if you want access, you have to play along. You dare not step outside of it. Now, the one thing that I learned just this week, I mean, I knew, but I didn't know. And I'm not going to say which program because I don't want to send anybody over there to see it. But one of these programs where they have people that are on the payroll of some sort to say things. Oh, okay, let me make it easier for you. He's a royal biographer, and he said that the royal family, they pretty much commission the book. They review the book. They go through it. And if it's something they don't like, and if you have seen this interview, please do not put it in the chat. Please do not do that. I do not want to send them engagement. But if you have seen the interview, then you know what I'm saying is true. This guy's told it all. He told it all. That they will scrutinize the so-called biographies. And so that's why someone like a Robert Jobson writes books that don't really sell. It is part of the permanent record. Like any politician, they're trying to establish their legacy. And that includes the Duke of Kent. the Duke of Gloucester, the Princess Royale, Princess Anne. All of those people, they want their biographies written, and they want it to be worded in a way that makes them sound like a hero. Even the bad stuff will be worded in a way that they are comfortable with. And so this whole idea that they were terrified of the crown, that was a lie. Peter Morgan has received one of those gongs, one of those honors. And of course, the guy that played Charles in the last couple seasons of The Crown, what's his name? Whatever his name is. He's friends. He's friends with Camilla. So these are approved. So you couldn't expect that they would ever come on television or anyplace else. But because we are so used to this format, I mean, look at this. It's like they're in some library of some posh home or something like that, which, by the way, I think that backdrop is a green screen. I don't think that exists. I think it's a green screen. This is all smoke and mirror. And Becky the Blob is the ringleader. Did you hear how carefully worded her response was? Do you think she's that intelligent that she just thought about that off the top of her head? And it was brilliant. It was brilliant. I'm going to give her credit for saying a whole bunch of nothing in such an eloquent way. It was epic. The way she tried to make sense out of something as stupid as that. Oh, well, when they receive honors, in other words, it's okay because they're entitled. They were accidents of birth. And as accidents of birth, if they deliberately get some award or title to honor them for just being, then it's okay. But Harry and Meghan, oh, they're just doing this not because of their work, not because of their dedication, but because they're trying to make money. This is part of their scheme. They're scheming. Well, you know what? And they better make some money because there's not a sovereign grant for them. There's no duchy of Sussex that yields money. There's no duchy of Sussex that is going to allow them to clear out someone's cottage because they don't have a will and then keep the profits for themselves. They don't have that. And you see how well Becky's doing? Becky has a beautiful tan, a little burnt around the cleavage, but she's been vacationing. She's been using the money that she's earned from her connection to the royal family. Becky is doing well. Obviously, she's eating well. Her and Robert Jobson. But this is all smoke and mirrors. This is all a little magic act. This is not rooted in reality. These are not serious people. It doesn't make sense that you have, let's say there's 50 core people in the Royal Rota, some more important than others, and all they do is sit around and write books about some of the dullest people. The only thing interesting about any of them, you dare not write about it. Like all the fruity stories about Willie. You dare not write about it. I'm convinced that the only reason why there's stories about that Chumley chick is so that we don't talk about the other stuff. And she knows this. They all know this. They know what the real story is, but they put on this this pantomime like they're really talking about something important. For the people that are hungry, homeless, or just struggling financially in the United Kingdom, that this family is living so well, I don't know how that helps them. If it's because of the tourism, that's bollocks. We all know that the UK would have tourists anyway. They don't get any more or less for that family. And just like this whole thing that she said about the medals, it sounds logical. So then it must be true. But the numbers say something else. The numbers say that France and Spain get far more tourists than the United Kingdom. One has a royal family, the other one doesn't. And the one that doesn't have a royal family, they get way more tourists. More people go to the Palace of Versailles than would ever go to Buckingham Palace. Even if you threw the doors open and made it free, I don't think most people would care for it. It's just a glorified hotel. But they don't make that much money. There's no big demand for it. Now, having been to the United Kingdom, let me just say, I'm a real Anglophile. I love all that fussy stuff, but I'm not a monarchist. I don't care if that institution shut down tomorrow because it serves no purpose. It only serves that family. I was just as interested in all of the stuff from the Bourbons in France. And they're about as useful as the Windsors. And they're not even in power anymore. So what they do is sit around and talk about, it's like they're talking about a reality show. It's very sedate, very cerebral, but otherwise pretty much the same thing. They try to make heroes out of people that are so mediocre, inconsequential, big nothings. The only one that has something going for him that was born into that family is Harry. The myth of Princess Anne, and that's all it is a myth, that she worked so hard. The only thing that I think is true is that she does her own hair. And the reason why I believe it is because look at it. You can tell she does her own hair. And I hope she uses a lot of hairspray because maybe that would have cushioned that hoof. I think Charles did a horrible job raising William. How can he not expose him to other languages? This is a reflection on Charles, not William. Ballas World, I don't think that Charles or anybody else tells William what to do. I don't think William, they're afraid of him. They're afraid of him. And I don't know if you can tell or not on television or just looking at photos, but William's a very large person and he's very intimidating. And while he wouldn't scare most people in my neighborhood, there are some people in polite society that are rather intimidated by him, and his father would be one of them. You see, William is untouchable. William is going to be king. Nothing can happen to him. I think as close as anybody got was when he was playing golf that day. But other than that, he's untouchable. And he's a very intimidating person. Because no matter what happens, if anything happens to them, who's ever responsible, they're going to come down on that person in the most epic way. And so he knows this, and he takes advantage of people because of it. But Charles is afraid of him. Charles is terrified of William. He may have some temper, but that's for the help. His temper is for the help, not for William. And I think he's afraid of him. Because if anything happens, what can you do? Charles is gone. William is king. And nobody's going to interrupt that. And those people that are sitting there talking all that nothing, they're going to make sure that nothing happens. The only truth is the truth that they tell you, not the real truth. So, yeah, I think that that's been a long-standing policy. You can't do anything with William. I don't think he's wrapped too tight. I really don't think he's wrapped too tight. And you cannot negotiate with a person like that. Charles took the initiative to learn Welsh. His mother did not speak Welsh, but Charles learned Welsh. Charles is a very curious person. He has a very curious mind. He likes to learn things. But there was nothing you can do with William. I'm convinced of that. I mean, I don't know if anybody could say that, some people are just born a certain way, and that's William's story. But I'm going to assume that the counsel that he received from his alcoholic great-grandmother, the Queen Mother, the counsel, which probably included little shots of bourbon, I think that if I had to bet, I would think she had planted the seeds that turned him into a monster. I don't think the Queen had a lot to do with William. I really don't believe the Queen had a lot to do with him. The Queen gravitated to Harry because she could talk to Harry. But William, he just seems like, to me, the kind of person that would constantly look at his watch and try to get away from you as fast as possible. That you couldn't finish a sentence without noticing that he was frantic to leave. That's what I think. So Charles is ultimately responsible, but I don't blame him for William. He is ultimately responsible, but I think the system, the institution, has created William. And that's what Harry said, is that he has become a company man. He has become the institution. I mean, he's turned against his own mother. I don't think he has proper respect for the legacy of his mother. And that's a terrible thing to say about someone's relationship with their deceased mother. But that's just what I believe. I don't think that he, I think that's whoever, because see, they do a lot of things. They do a lot of things with surrogates. Like, for instance, Harry wrote about Marco. Marco this, Marco that. Marco was supposed to be a strong male role model in the absence of his father. And I think the same goes for Willie. I don't know who his role model was, but whoever it was, they turned him into a beast. So anyway, that's just my opinion. I might change the way I feel about it tomorrow. Who knows? Yeah, Harry demonstrated that he had more of a sense of duty than William. William never displayed a strong sense of duty. And even now, he just goes through the motions. But he doesn't have a strong sense of duty. He wants to be where he wants to be when he wants to be there. And because he will be king, they step back and let him have his way. Yeah, they use a lot of surrogates. Just like when Harry wanted to see his grandmother, it was one of the courtiers that told him no, not his father, not his brother. They have those intermediates. They have agents of the institution that do a lot of those things, including discipline, I'm sure. Whatever discipline there is. I mean, think about it. Harry refused to drop the issue of Christian Jones. Was it Charles who told him there would be repercussions? Was it William who said there would be repercussions? No, they left it to one of the courtiers. Exactly. The men in gray suits. Exactly. And that's why William is the monster that he is today. Charles didn't spend any more time with William than he was required to. Months go by, and Charles and William do not have time alone with each other. I'm convinced of that. Months have gone by. Look at how long it took to see Charles and William in the same space after Charles said he had cancer. And if William had gone sooner, surely we would have seen like a big fuss about it, but we didn't because it didn't happen. And for PR purposes, now they're pretending to be close. They're not close. Meghan doesn't have the deference for that institution that a English rose would have. And that's the one thing they love about Americans is the lack of deference. And the thing that they hate about Americans is the lack of deference. And in Meghan's case, the great equalizer, Meghan doesn't see any individual as that great individual overall, or, she had a great deal of respect for the Queen. Obviously, she had a great deal of respect for the Queen. And I'm sure that the moments that Meghan had with Queen Elizabeth is something so different from whatever we could imagine. The Queen definitely had a persona. And then there was, the Queen that you sit and chat with. And I'm sure it was wonderful. But that's not the relationship that Meghan had with other people in the family. It could have been that way with Charles, but Camilla would have none of it. Camilla was not going to let that happen. Meghan's too intelligent to have around. When somebody's got that much sense, you got to dismiss them. You can't have somebody sitting around observing things. They're not used to being intimidated by anybody. And I'm pretty sure that they were just a little bit intimidated by Meghan's presence. Lex says, William feels that he is not allowed to be who he wants to be. He hates to see people living a life that he believes is his. So he's controlling and miserable. Thank you so much, Legs. And I believe that to be true. I believe that Willie is very envious of the fact that Harry was allowed to walk away and that he's stuck, and he knows he's stuck, and he wants all of the attention that comes with that job, but he just doesn't want to do the mundane day-to-day stuff. He doesn't have a strong enough sense of duty. And as he said, I'm not going to go to those little basic situations. I'm going to, he just wants to pop on television every now and again, but he's not going to do the ribbon cutting. He's not going to expose the plaques and such. That was what Harry was supposed to do. He's not going to belittle himself to the point where he has to do that stuff. He wasn't doing much of it before, and he's not going to do it in the future. He's going to be a king on his own terms, and nobody is going to make him do anything that he doesn't want to do. And see, the courtiers that he has, they're going to protect him from that. They are going to protect him from himself. They're going to make sure that people believe that his time away from public duty is what is the word I'm looking for? That is portrayed as being, a lot of behind the scene, gritty, hard work instead of on vacation somewhere. And those people sitting right there, Becky the Blob and that little rat, Richard Eden, they're going to protect him. They're going to protect him. Richard Eden has gone from being so suspicious and critical of Kate Middleton to her main protector. So it just goes to show. And fortunately, we have receipts. We know what they used to say about Will and Kate. We have the receipts. But suddenly, since the arrival of Meghan, now they're two of the hardest working people. And if they didn't have this family to raise, they would be more available. BS. So anyway, last word of the day, stay away from people that act like a victim in a problem they created. Got that? Stay away from them. They ain't no good. And with that, I am done. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Love you guys. This has been wonderful. Again, that was our last word of the day. We are doing our countdown until the award show. And as usual, thank you to the moderators for keeping this a safe space. And remember, whenever you see our queens, it is time to go. I'm sure by now y'all know what that means. Wait, where are they? Oh, there we go. All right. Wunderbar. And again, Vive la France. Thank you so much for rebuking that horrible Marie Le Pen. May she go to hell. Okay. And cue the Ginger Avengers. See you tomorrow.